begin your presentation on mic here.
Plantiga is poised. Poised to change an industry. Poised to change their firm. Poised to change operations in businesses and even consumer lives. That's why we, the team from Real Consulting, are here today to present our platform, InTech by Plantiga. What we propose is that Plantiga moves to become the leader in wearable technology analytics. And how are we going to do this? Well, we've had a look at the market, we've had a look at the organisation and the current situation they are within. We don't actually perceive a problem. We mainly see an opportunity. Firstly, we see that there's the opportunity to expand into almost any industry or almost any application with the current technology. And we see three key drivers of this. Firstly, the cutting-edge technology, the strong emerging market, and the applicability, again, into any industry. This is why we want to launch InTech. Now, the three main tactics we are looking to do for this include a market entry strategy, which we'll talk about in detail, a component sales, which is very similar to licensing the technology to co-branded products, and then lastly, e-textiles expansion, because that really is where wearable technology is going. But before I go any further, I'd like to introduce my team. My name is Sam Senior. On my right is Alistair Chapman and Jamie Rogers. We're the team from Real Consulting. We'll take you through InTech. So this is the agenda for today, and we'll take you from our analysis all the way through to our financials of the situation. So largely, we want to have a look at the strategy as a whole. InTech, as we said, it has three prongs. What does the first prong really talk about? Well, this is looking at entering the high-value, fast-growing health and wellness industry, distribution through pharmacies, hospitals, and physiotherapists, and ensuring that you can enhance customer recovery through the analytics technology. The second big component is component sales. Now, the idea here is following a very similar model to what Vibram does. They have fantastic technology, but they actually resole a lot of shoes and co-brand. What we think Plantiga should do is actually do a similar sort of thing and introduce their technology into co-branded shoes. New Balance with InTech, Asics with InTech, Ultima, a military boot, with InTech. So that's really the platform for continual growth into the future, creating revenue streams across both B2B and B2C. This also will enable sector-specific software solutions so that the customers in your business area particularly are able to really take advantage of the software. And lastly, looking to e-textiles, with InTech being a wearable apparel item with further analytical capabilities and exposing Plantiga to a larger revenue pie. So let's have a look at some of the analysis that really drove our decisions and how we came up with the InTech platform.
Thanks, Sam. So we've analysed this very rapidly growing wearable technology market, and we've analysed Plantiga's role in it. And we've noticed that you have a number of significant strengths. These strengths include your technology. You already have a wearable, working proof of concept of the suspend technology. This technology has solid patents and legal IP protection behind it. You have a solid team with experience and expertise in wearable technology and in business operations. And your technology is not product specific. It can be ported to a number of important sectors. As we see it, this opens up a number of opportunities for Plantiga. To analyse a wealth of data from customer devices. These shoes are generating a massive amount of data that will be integral to your solution. It'll be integral across a multitude of applications, across a multitude of sectors, and will emerge as a leader in the wearable technology industry and the new markets that it generates. And it will be able to achieve vendor exclusivity through your early position in the market and your solid technology foundation. So wearable technology over the next 3 to 5 years is planned to grow between $30 and $50 billion. This is a market with a whole range of wearable technologies, from featureful eyewear to convenient smartwatches, and eventually we hope to see smart sensor woven fabrics. As you can see on the right, device sales are predicted to keep growing, and the growth figures are heartening for any business looking to emerge into the wearable technology market. So the insights we see from the current market are that there are a number of other brands already competing. And these include brands with significant brand power, such as Nike Plus, but also groups such as Jawbone and Fitbit, who may not have quite the name recognition, but have high-functioning devices. The Plantiga solution, Intech, has the highest potential functionality of any of these, but has almost no brand recognition in the space, meaning that you won't be able to compete directly without a massive amount more branding. That is why we see the need to move Intech into new sectors, allowing them to compete with co-branded partners in a number of different markets. So we've had a look at what methods to take for a market entry strategy. These methods branch across deciding to take the suspend shoe directly to market. Now this solution unfortunately requires significant amount of capital and advertising budget to compete with the large name brands that are already in the space. Equally, it could license the technology, but this means that there is almost no brand recognition for Plantiga and the Intech solution as a whole. On the other side, we can use the Intech solution of both integration and co-branding. This allows for the best alignment with market output and leverages the capabilities of Plantiga to the greatest extent. The last option is to create a movement analytics provider platform. But this provides little brand recognition and doesn't utilize one of your major strengths, the suspend shoe platform. Now that we have a market entry, we need to decide what market sector to enter into. And this includes the option of amateur and professional athletes, where unfortunately the capital required to compete is simply too high, or the recreational athletics market. Fortunately, there are already a number of heavily placed brands already capitalising on this market. However, the health and wellbeing market is lucrative, quickly growing, and is a fragmented market that aligns well to your current capabilities. Conversely, security and biometrics is a very specialised field with specialised skills and platforms required, similar to military and industrial applications, where there are a number of solutions already in place that would make it difficult for Plantiga to compete. For more information on this, I might pass on to Jamie, who will discuss our implementation strategy.
Thank you, Alistair. Having identified an attractive staging market, we've developed a three-stage strategy to allow you to enter the market, capture it, then expand your brand to new markets, and once you've captured those markets, to grow your revenues by introducing new products through wearable technology, through e-textiles. As Sam has communicated already, the overall vision is to eventually establish co-branding partnerships with manufacturers in much the same way that Vibram has done. But what we need to focus on now is entering the health and wellness market, and how are we going to do that? Firstly, focus continued development efforts on the current suspend product. This is what you're taking to market initially, and this is what the first round of customers is going to be buying. This is what builds your brand image. However, also focus development efforts on the software. This is the key value add, the ability of Intech and Suspend to provide you real-time feedback so that you know what you're doing wrong, how you can improve, whether it's in health and wellness, or patient recovery, whether it's in recreational sports, for improving your performance. Once you've developed a strong product, as well as the supporting software, we need to start creating and cultivating the relationships, the distribution points. Now these, for phase one, we're primarily focusing on medical applications, so podiatric clinics, rehabilitation clinics, physiotherapy clinics, helping people continue to recover best. So this is establishing channels through pharmacies, hospitals, rehab clinics, physiotherapists, and we'll be primarily relying on traditional marketing methods such as personal selling, promotions, or on-site demonstrations, but applied in a highly targeted way. So why would Suspend, or Intech in this case, be an attractive product for the market? Well, if we look at orthotic applications, possible applications here are endless. We can deal with minor issues such as helping with corrective advice. So if you have a walking disorder, if you're pigeon-toed, it can help you understand how you're walking, why you're walking like that, and perhaps recommend remediation. It can also address more serious issues in this case, such as analyzing the recovery of someone who's suffered a serious injury by providing more accurate podiatric assessment. It's able to map out the data points so we can understand what your progress is and where you need to go to recover. So, at first in distribution, Intech will be available through primarily hospitals, So through the hospitals, this is for the hospitals to purchase the product and supply them to patients aid in the recovery, but they are also available for free purchase by consumers at these distribution points labeled here. So again, just highlighting how we would be engaging our customers, both B2B and B2C. First of all, personal selling. This focuses more on B2B customers, striking up the relationship with distribution partners, pharmacies, hospitals, physiotherapists, and in-store demonstrations. They're primarily to attract the B2C customers once we have B2B partnerships firmly in place. So at this stage, Intact has provided Plantiga with two key revenue streams, from B2B and B2C. If we look at B2C revenue for the consumers, we have sales of the shoe, but not from the application yet. Currently, this isn't free. However, at B2B, this is where we begin licensing software to take advantage of the analytical capabilities of Intact. Some information down below, which Sam will elaborate on in the finances, just to give you a bit of an idea of what we're projecting through sales.
So essentially, by the end of phase 1, there's some key achievements we're looking to achieve in terms of metrics. Looking for 2,500 shoe sales, looking for 150 software licenses sold, and then having secure distribution and branding in the marketplace.
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
How would you manufacture the shoes?
Okay, so we've considered a few options. In the first instance, there was a consideration of using 3D printing. However, right now, that's really not something that's particularly viable to get to the market and produce in large. So the real option is looking to outsourcing to manufacturing in other areas. So there's actually some of the leading players, which you probably have some more information on.
Yes. So for example, we have manufacturing partners already in the focus industries such as DGO, Royce, Royale, I believe, Alistair. These are people that we can partner with to manufacture, to bring the product to market. The reason that that would be an attractive offering to them is that this is not as competitive as the recreational sporting industry. No one at the moment has a stranglehold on who the market is. So what we're offering them is this all-topic solution, but it's a primary way of differentiating their product from the competitors. We have the technology, they have the manufacturing capability. This is the partnership we're presenting.
And if you don't meet these metrics here, what happens?
Sure, we've got some considerations for that. I'll just give you one moment. Jump to our risk slide. So we have considered this particularly. So our main outcomes there that we built those metrics off, we're having the pharmacy chain and the one private hospital per city. So we're looking to, in fact, look to other chains, specifically if you can't get one of the premier ones, and then also looking for customer surveys to understand why this wasn't working, what else you could do in that instance. And that's for the first component of the phase. And as you can see, we've got contingencies for the other areas as well.
So at this point in time, we're ready to initiate our stage 2 strategy. Now, we've achieved market leadership in the health and wellness sector, and we've got strong brand presence. What we're looking at now is adopting the vibrant model, selling components that will allow us to partner with manufacturers such as ASICS, or brands such as Merrell, Adidas, Puma, Slazenger, to enter wider markets. So again, explaining the model we're taking, we're selling the main component. In this case, this is the Intact Sense Zone, which provides data capture, and we're also providing the analytical software. So as we stand, Intact is positioned perfectly to achieve similar results.
Good question. So it seems like you're really drawing a lot of inspiration from the Vibrant model. Is that correct?
Yes.
And you've really weeded out a lot of the other options for the company, really focusing in on this partnering model along the lines of Vibrant. Did you evaluate selling to Vibrant or partnering directly with Vibrant and kind of sparing the expense and complexity of trying to share all these other partnerships?
Sure, so that explicitly wasn't something we explicitly considered, but what we did look at was some of the history that Vibrant had and how they ended up where they were. We found that the way that Vibrant has got into this marketplace is offering an excellent product. Yes, that's what we do. That's what Plantiga does as well. However, the Vibrant Soul is not something that's necessarily compatible with how the technology is going to be working. So, and particularly throughout this manufacturing process, it doesn't really fit within that ecosystem.
Does that then put you in a position where the same company that you're modeling after is also now your primary competitor?
I think the consideration for that is that you're actually offering completely different things. Vibram offers a great sturdy sole for a great shoe. However, you're offering data. You're not offering anything physical in terms of the shoe. You're offering more intangible products, so not necessarily the same competitor.
Now, these are examples of some initiatives which we can branch into one-two security partnerships, and there are also a variety of use cases we have considered for each of these industries. How businesses, our players in this industry, can benefit from our insect sense technology. This is our vision for how insect will be incorporated into the products of our partners. So basically, we're envisioning integration of insect sense at the point of manufacture of our partners. So most of the manufacturing costs in this case are outsourced to the delivery partners and district partners.
So what we see at the end of stage 2 is in fact a now multi-sector company with vastly increased revenue streams and also the opportunity to improve the brand recognition, and you're across a whole lot of different industries to reduce your risk as well.
I have a question. What timeline are you looking at for the 3 phases?
So initially, this is specifically for the time for in-house development. So you're in a position where you've got a lot of stuff there already. So it's not going to take too long to get that product to market. So we're considering that by mid-2014 onwards, you have the opportunity for the first phase of that market entry. In terms of the second component there, it's really a case of doing a lot of that R&D because you're now working with a whole load of different shoes. You're working with new software specifically as well. So that is going to take more than a year. So then you're also creating those new analytics and looking for those brand partners. Post sort of end 2015, moving forward. And then e-textiles is also coming on the back of that. Lots of R&D going out throughout the whole time as well, such that it's sort of near the end of the 4-year phasing, which is about the time that e-textiles is expected to really kick off. And all throughout that, monitoring and controls.
I have a question as well. Are you intending to focus on any specific geographical areas?
So these maps are just taken straight from public information. This is just around where we are in Vancouver, Canada. So these are the possible distribution channels, purely with pharmacies and physiotherapists.
Just in Vancouver.
Starting in Vancouver. So particularly other examples of Canadian startups, including Chango, Shopify, other startups like that, have primarily solidified in Canada, moved into North America, which is not a big jump, and over time particularly moved towards the UK and Singapore and Southeast Asia, particularly starting in Vancouver.
So as we've largely talked about the implementation already, I'd like to finish up on our finances and where we think this is really going. So during our analysis period, we identified a range of issues, a range of potential inputs to determine what the value of this move is. So we considered growth in all of the markets, we considered the price points, we considered the number of sales that you can achieve. All of this went into a model. We simulated our model 1,000 times to account for as much risk as possible because we know that this is vital for any decision that Plantiga may make. So as a result of this, we've used some key inputs such as the discount rate and varied these. And as a result, we've come up with a simulated expected NPV for Intech of $5.8 million over the next 4 years. This is fantastic for a company that's currently working on around $500,000. And this is largely because of the new industries. And because they're not shoehorned any longer into one specific shoe, one specific technology, but being able to move out broadly. So this is where the technology and the company can really move forward. So to really close off this Intech platform for you today, what we've seen is there is an opportunity to go into any single market. We spent a lot of time analysing and determining which market was the most appropriate. We understand that health and wellness is the easiest to get into and likely the most profitable initially because there aren't so many high costs. And from here, we then have the ability to move forward for Plantica with Intech. Thank you.